leadership cannot be provided without leaning on the power of God.
And therefore, I ask you today not even to be understanding of the difficulties that I grapple with every day. I'm not even asking you for that. What I really want to ask you to do, because I know where my capabilities begin and where they fall short, I want to ask you to pray, not so much for me. I mean, do that too and I would be grateful. But I want to ask you to pray for God's intervention.
The Prime Minister was addressing the prayer and worship event organized by the Portmore-based Power of Faith Ministries. The event, called Heal the Family, Heal the Nation, is the 4th annual renewal of a national call. It was held at the National Arena yesterday and attended by the Governor-General and Leader of the Opposition. And finally, in the news today, be mindful of your surroundings and prepared to respond to any natural disaster. That urging is coming from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management as Jamaica prepares to observe Earthquake Awareness Week. Head of the Earthquake Unit and Research Fellow at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Lyndon Brown, reminds the nation that earthquakes have no season.
So you find a solid area so that debris falling from walls, will not hit you. I mean, this is probably the most serious way in which, injuries happen during an earthquake, when objects fall from walls.
Dr. Brown was speaking at a JIS think tank session this week. Senior Director of Mitigation at the ODPEM, Michelle Edwards, was also at the meeting. She says it's important for citizens to also be aware of Jamaica's vulnerability to tsunamis.
Tsunamis are generated from earthquake waves or landslides that are underwater, and they travel at very, very, very fast speeds.
Research suggests that the likelihood of Jamaica experiencing a tsunami is 1 in 150 years. Earthquake Awareness Week is being observed from January 9 to 16. It's being commemorated under the theme Learn, Plan, Prepare. The next big quake could be near. Those were the stories making the news today. For more information, please visit our website at www.jis.gov.jm. Stay with us. Jamaica Magazine continues.
The JIS Year in Review. Monday, January 11 to Friday, January 29, only on Jamaica Magazine.
His primary focus is empowering, mentoring, and developing leaders in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, and North America. We now join our guest on today's edition of Issues and Answers, Kay Barrington Thomas.
Ken, welcome to Issues and Answers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boyce.
Many people are apprehensive about the year. They're concerned about what the year holds for them, concerned about the economic downturn in Jamaica, about the worldwide recession. What is your word to those persons?
It's a simple word, actually. The deal is you speak a right language and you create your own universe. That's how you deal with these times. It really doesn't matter to me.
Airy-fairy sort of stuff.
I know.
Do these things work, Ken?
It's not a matter if these things work, it's what the Word of God says. The whole universe, everything that is created was created by the spoken word. The word is everything. And your word is your life or your word is your death. There is nothing airy-fairy about it. It's the best time to start business. It's the best time to get into business. It's the time to restructure your family life. It's the best time to get into personal development because you shut off the outside negatives. There's never been a better time in history than now.
So that we should not be stalled by the difficulties, by the problems, by the seemingly limiting circumstances.
Let me ask you a quick question, Chief. Is the new tax regime a reality or is it not? Is it a reality?
That's right.
Right. You're worrying about it.
You know what
Does
I'm
it do
talking
anything
about?
it?
Yeah.
That's my point. But talking about it and griping and, negative stuff, it doesn't help. It's there. It's a reality. You got to deal with it.
We still have to pay the new taxes.
That's the whole point. So if previously you lived comfortably on 100,000 Jamaican dollars a month, you just do the math. It's simple sums. What figure do you now need to live comfortably? And your efforts, rather than spending on griping and joining the bunch of negatives about it, is spent on increasing your income so that you can live reasonably comfortable within the confines of the taxation system.
All right. But when I think, Ken, about the real limitations, the fact that jobs are not easy to come by, that employment creation is not as dynamic, how do I not be depressed? Let's be real now.
I flew into your country. You want me to get real? I'll be real. I love this place with a hopeless passion. As you know, Jamaica is like home, and I'm here all the time. I flew into this country on New Year's Day, and the following day I was at Digicel on Knutsford Boulevard, getting my phone sorted out, internet and all that. And I stood there and marveled as the hundreds of people came in. Give me $1,000. Give me $700. And it went, I stood there for hours. Literally, I'm a social scientist. I just kept observing the film. I said, there's no recession here. There couldn't be. It's not possible. Shaggy concert, how many were there? But 30,000?
Sold out.
Oh, how much? Thank you very much. Super Platinum, 300 US
Yes,
plus.
sir.
Where is the recession? What's the issue?
People are still spending.
Well, I saw it with my own eyes. It's crazy. The reality is, it's about a reconditioning. How do I adjust?
Yes.
So maybe one less concert, maybe 5 less beers, maybe chat less foolishness on my phone, so I don't have to put the money on that, and rather it could be in school books. But blaming government and complaining about times and issues.
Waste of time.
Waste of time. Completely. You can do nothing about it. Let the government and let people get on with being positive and proactive. Jamaicans got to work harder. You got to pull together. You got to become more, we like to use the word conscious, but really conscious about your own existence and where you're going. More long-term goals, definitely having some goals, but living for the time to move forward step by step. It's really a time of a coming together. I marveled yesterday, there was an article in the papers, well, I suppose it's sometime last week, it was an old newspaper. Remember the time when Butch Stewart caused the whole nation to rally around the salvation of the dollar?
Yes.
Remember how Jamaicans responded phenomenally?
Yes.
Until even the negatives and the naysayers and the town criers all jumped on the bandwagon. Him and the guy, James spelled backwards, was called
Lakim Samaj.
Right.
Yes.
That whole rally. Phenomenal moment in time. Jamaica just needs another that. Whatever caused that. Yeah, another that. 2010 must be a year when the people rally. Let the criers cry. You can't do much about that. But as a people, from Jungle to Trelawney to Maypen to St. Thomas, you've got to just rise up and move forward.
We must not give in to the negativity.
It doesn't help. What does it do? What's the result of that? Taxes will always be a reality. From the days of Joseph and Pharaoh, the people have been paying 20% taxes, right? They say 2 things you can't escape, death and taxes. You don't deal with that. That is a non-issue. And you might say it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but I really mean it like that, Chief. Worrying about it does nothing except take your blood pressure up and cause you to lose focus on your goals.
What are some of the key things that we as Jamaicans need to do this year in order to better our lives, to better our thinking?
Whole Panisi, but I can give you 3 quick ones. There's got to be an inward focus on personal development and family life. I'll say it a million times. Parents have just got to go back to loving their children and raising them right. Everybody's talking. The education system is failing. Big deal. So what? You can make sure that they learn to read at home, and you can spend quality time with them, and you can check their books. Our parents didn't go to high school back in those days. But they made sure they checked to see what was tick and what was X.
Yes.
And you did your homework every night, Chief. Then my mother locked your neck. It's homework and Bible.
Yes.
And my grandmother reinforcing that. And then when your father barked, and I mean it like that. So it's back to whatever. If you just got yam and mackerel, then you share it as a family.
Yes.
You bless it in God's name. You enjoy it. And you just build family life. That's definitely one of the answers. The language. The language here has been too negative for too long. And I live here almost, The music, we don't have to go into it, but the negative stuff that has been allowed to permeate the